Hello, hello. I'm still working away at the Gotham City Sirens piece. Yesterday was my daughter's 13th birthday, whoop whoop. So I haven't had any more time to work on it, except for just a couple little swirls of hair right there. And then I've been helping my daughter with her birthday and all those fun mommy jobs. And now I'm back, and I'd like to focus on Ivy's hair and working on trying to get a straight-on face, even and parallel. So what I'm going to be doing right now is using my ruler and trying to make sure that everything is in the right spot. Even though I did a lot of directional lines on my sketch and, you know, made sure that I had the center in the right place and tried to get everything correct, sometimes when doing the final line art or the transfer, even just a hairline off can make an eye look strange or things look uneven. And so I'm going to be pulling out my trusty ruler to try to make sure that everything is in the right spot. Good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon, Derek. Good afternoon, Scott. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody's having a great weekend. All right, so with the ruler, I am just trying to make sure that the top of her eyes are even. Now, her face is not perfectly straight on the paper, but I do know that, say, right here, I'm just using the 8 right there, the inch line, to show me the center of her chin and where it's facing her nose and all of that. Now, it's a little bit of a bummer that these aren't exactly in the same line, but I can pretty much eye it up. So what I'm trying to do is make sure, see, her top eyelid on this side is lower than on that side, so I'm going to even that out right now. Thank you, David. I'm so glad that you like it so far. And thank you, Jason. That means a lot that you like the way I draw faces. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try to hold the ruler in place and make sure that this part right here is ending the same as the other eye. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but as good as I can get it is what I'm going for. All right, and now I'm going to angle it down a little bit. See, I know that I'm happy with that eye. I am not happy with this one on this side. So I'm trying to make sure that her bottom lid is also even. Okay, so the corner turns till about there. All right, something like that. Oh, I should come to your school and give a tutorial. That would be fun. I'm so excited to see you at Planet again this year too, Kim. I'm so excited to be there. It's going to be fun. I missed it last year, so I'm looking forward to being there again this year. Thank you, Yan. I'm glad you like it. As you guys can see, for those of you who have been following my Facebook Lives on this piece here and there, I'm a mom of 3, so I kind of work in and around any other things that I need to be doing with my children or housework and stuff like that. So I kind of work in bits and pieces, sort of grab time when you get it, right? All right. I'm so glad that you've learned a lot from these live draws, Christopher. Yay! All right, now that I've gotten her eye in the right place, I can put in the bottom lashes. So sometimes when I'm working on it, I'm trying to get her looking in the right direction, and if it's just not working, sometimes I'll end up realizing, well, it's not really so much the placement of the eyes and the irises, it's her actual eyelids and everything that are off. And once I fix that, then everything seems to fall into place. So sometimes if you're working on a piece and it's just not looking right for you, it could be that the shape of the face is incorrect, or you need to just adjust something ever so slightly, and then everything will fall into place a little bit better. Hi, Bill. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you like the way it's coming along. All right, now I'll put more into her lashes and darkening the rest of the lines later. Right now I'm going to be focusing on her hair. So what I do initially when I'm sketching is I just do really fast lines, swirling here and there and just trying to get some motion into it, and that I seem to be able to get that motion when I do it really, really quickly. The way that I work my final lines, I'm a little bit slower and more deliberate with it, but at least I have the quick lines in there. Now, there's one spot up at the top right here where these two curls look too parallel to me. So those I definitely want to fix. But I'm trying to give the illusion that the wind is sort of taking her hair up that way towards the right. And Ivy's hair has a pretty curl and wave to it, so that makes it really fun to play with with the wind and just adding a little bit more visual interest. I actually have a harder time when hair is perfectly pinned straight to show it picking up the wind and getting as much swirly motion to it, because my hair is pinned straight, and when I look at it blowing in the wind, it's just kind of like so curls are way more fun. And with curls, what I do is I sort of try to think of them flowing like a ribbon. So, you know, if you're tying a bow, or in my case, I can quickly refer to like Christmas decorations where you're twirling the ribbon. It's almost like it's flat, but then it folds over itself and stuff. So I try to think of that in terms of hair too, and have certain parts where you can see it turning like this, and so it gets thinner and then goes thick again. I hope that made sense. All right, and then I just clean it. Because I'm trying to get rid of some of my transfer lines underneath. If I've changed the direction of something, or in the case of these transfer lines, because my sketch is underneath and then I light box in lightly where the lines are, but it's literally just a slightly cleaner sketch, and then I'm going to go in and darken the lines. But I draw them in very lightly when I'm working with my light box to make sure that I have the ability to move things or change things if I want to when I'm working on the final. So I draw them really light, and then it's just a matter of erasing them a teeny weeny bit. Anthony, I don't actually ink my work. I scan it, well, at least for a piece like this. For commissions where I'm going to be coloring them with Copic marker, I do ink them. For a piece like this where I'm going to be coloring it digitally, I don't ink them. I essentially treat my pencil work as final inks. And then I go in, and all I need to do is just adjust the levels. If you're used to using Photoshop, you'll know what that means. If not, what it is you can kind of drag, these different sliders that will take out the grays or the smudging. It basically takes all the white and makes it more white, and takes all the black and makes it more black. So in the end, this will look like an inked piece. Hi, Ian. Hello from Edmonton. Or hello to Edmonton from Calgary. My brain isn't working. So I'm cleaning up my transfer lines. In time, maybe I will just switch to inking. I may, in the end, find it faster than doing it this way. This is just how I've been working for the last few years, is treating pencil lines as ink lines. I used to ink a lot, and I was very into inking. At one point when I was interested in getting into comics, I thought maybe I'd get into comics as an inker, not a penciler. So it is something I enjoy. I just found that I had a bit more control if I was working as a penciler not working as a penciler, but using a pencil to do my final line work. Hi, Alyssa. I'm looking forward to seeing your work. For me, working on hair is the part that takes me the longest, if you guys can believe it. It really shouldn't, but it does. It takes me so long to try to get the motion right, and then I start really obsessing over line width and getting proper depth and all of that stuff, and so I hope you can bear with me. All right, I'm trying to decide if I want this piece of hair that's going back to either fold forward towards us or fold away. And so that's what I'm going to be deciding right now. And I think I'm going to have it fold towards us here and then away from us over there. And I need to change that curl because I want to keep this one and get rid of that one, if any of you can see those really light lines there. Rick, thank you for your compliment about my work. I do commission work at home sometimes, but due to the fact that I generally have deadlines and cover and interior work to do, I'm not able to take that many, and the ones that I do take end up having to wait quite a long time. So at the moment my commission list is closed, but I hope to be able to work through the at-home commissions that I have, and then I'll be able to take more. But for the most part, I mostly just do commissions at conventions. What's my advice for getting into comics? Draw a lot and then take your work and show it to as many people as you can. All right, so I initially had her hair coming from all the way over here and sort of going in front of that. Now I've realized that actually doesn't look very realistic. It would probably be coming, some of it would be coming from here. So I'm working on this part right now. Hi. Do you say Cara Vierdi? I'm trying to, if I read anybody's name wrong, I'm so sorry. James, as far as getting a few of my prints, thank you for thinking about that and looking at some of my work. Some of them are signed, and it'll say on the actual product page which ones are signed, which ones aren't. Some I have a bit of both, and the reason why I'm not able to personalize them is that I live in Calgary, Canada. My warehouse is in Chicago, where my artwork is, and so I can't actually personalize them for you because I don't have them. I'm sorry. But you can check on there if they're signed or not signed. We were trying to find a way for me to sign my work and like ship it to Chicago, or maybe I should fly to Chicago, and it was just really adding an incredible amount of overhead. So we're not going to be doing signed work there, and I don't want to charge anybody for signatures. I want to keep my signature free always, and so that's why we're just going to not have signatures as opposed to me charging for them. But if you ever bring anything to me at a convention that I've worked on, I will always gladly sign it for you for free. All right. My whole idea for this curl in the back, I need to keep thinking about, because, you know, it has to actually look like it connected to her head somewhere. Kylie, yes, I'm doing this for you. Hair takes me a long time. It takes me the longest. Warehouse in Chicago, how's the security? I have no idea. It's probably pretty good though, David. All right, so I want this coming from behind her head, let's say. Thank you, Stephen. I hope you like it when it's done. So I'm back on that other little stand that I was using yesterday. That it's not quite built for me to use my light table in portrait mode where it's longwise like this. So it's a little short, and I'm having to hold my board up at the top or it shifts. But if anyone has any great links for a small tabletop stand, that can adjust in height, I am all ears. I really need something that can adjust to where it's almost more like an easel, you know, where I can actually have it semi-upright, or if there's like a custom place that you know of that builds these, please tell me. If not, I'll just keep looking online. All right, so then I clean it up, fix any of the lines I messed up while I was erasing, and then I'll move on to the next lock of hair. And I want to place leaves all throughout in her hair. So if you see me doing little weird scribbles, it's because I'm deciding where to put leaves and little petals and stuff like that. Now, even though her hair is blowing, I erased that line right there because if you look at how long it ends up making her head look, that looks too long to me. So I'm going to cut it down to sort of show, yes, she has tons of hair blowing all over the place, but she still actually does have the top of her head somewhere, and it's not gigantic. Or another trick you can do is you can make it go up high like this, but then actually cut into it so that it looks like another lock of hair blowing upward, but she still has the top of her head is more human-sized. Oh, that sounds awesome, Kylie. I'd love to see that. If you have a link, message me. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this piece going up and then another piece going up away from the top of her head, but still going in that direction. See, now I have to hold the top again, or it's just gonna flip over. All right, and then I'm making this lock connect to this bigger one over here. For some people, hair is just so easy. It's like, oh yeah, just some swirls here and some curls there, and I don't know why. I find hair such a challenge. Maybe I just way overthink it, which is probably the case. I tend to do that. All right, so now I need to make sure that even though this particular curl is in the way, the hair is flowing correctly. So I made these turns too sharp because they need to meet up with that part of hair. So this is like sketch to final on the hair part. And I usually do it like that. I have basic direction that I know that I want the hair to go in, but I don't really finalize it or give it a ton of thought until the actual final. Maybe that's why it takes me so long. Thank you, Simon. I'm glad you like the way I draw hair. So this will be fun. Because I've got this curling in front here and then going back behind, I'll have a little bit of the curl being visible right here too, which will show a little bit of depth. And I just know that this one is in the foreground of that one, and then this piece is in the foreground of that, so that when I color it, I can adjust the shading accordingly. I'm looking for a stand, David, that adjusts. So I don't want a light box. I already have a light box, and I'm looking for something that's not going to be gigantic on my desk. I have this small little guy. Look, I'll show you what I've got right now. It's my notebook on top of the little stand. So I'm looking for a stand like that, but that's a bit longer, so it can fit my my light table in this position, like in portrait style. And so that's what I'm working on right now. It's very makeshift. And James, do I use special types of references for pose? No, I wouldn't say special types. It's just, you know, really thinking about what I'm trying to do. Of course, I look at human anatomy and pictures, and, you know, I spend a lot of time just looking at pictures of people. and, you know, sometimes if I have an idea, I'll actually stand in front of the mirror to see if it even works and stuff like that. And it's just like a mixture of everything, and then a lot of trial and error. I'll think something's a great idea until I draw it, and then I'm like, no, this is not such a great idea. I need to start over. It's just a matter of like working through your ideas. And one thing I'm trying to do a little better at is not just immediately start drawing, but actually take some time and think about the character. What I'll do is, this is a little exercise I've been trying myself lately with work, is if I get commissioned to draw a character, or so it's a commission or it's an actual cover job or interior work or something, I'll think about the character and actually write down some of their attributes or some of their powers, or, you know, I'll make a list of what it is that I want to focus on with that character. You know, like Lady Death, for instance. She's a powerful warrior, but then she's also got her sensual side or her queenly side, or all those different things about her that make her what she is. And, you know, some covers focus more on her badass warrior, and other ones are a little more on the queenly side, for instance. Like I just recently worked on a cover in the summer of 2017 for Lady Death, and the assignment was she's taking a moment before she's crowned Queen of Hell. Well, that's an awesome concept to be given, because then I can just sit down and think. I mean, I was pretty much given the subject and like the theme of what I was supposed to make her look like right there, and you can see it on Lady Death, or I have it on somewhere on my Facebook feed. It's the Kickstarter jeweled, gosh, now I'm drawing a blank, but it's the jeweled cover where she's in a cave and it's all like red, and there's all these crystals around. That was the one where she was taking a moment before being crowned Queen of Hell. And so I gave her a crown, but she's holding it in her hand, and those themes are just so much fun for me to work with, because then I can just write it down on the side, and then I know what I'm going for, and it helps me get past that blank page stage where you're just staring at white. And, you know, some artists are really gifted with imagination and ideas and all those things, and for me, I have to kind of jumpstart myself a little bit, I feel. Oh yeah, you also use a piece of paper. It is very helpful. I just use old scrap paper. This one was I took my layout and sketched it out and stuff, so it's really handy. So here her hair is really curling up. James is asking if I can recommend any good art books. Yes, actually. I really like the art books by Andrew Loomis, I believe his name is. And I actually have them on my bedside table, and I am trying to read them every night. They're fabulous. Sorry, water break if I drank in anyone's ear. Can I draw people in this style for paid work? Yes, that's generally what I do. This is just a rare occasion where I'm drawing something for myself, for fun. Okay, so I want to show that her hair is turning here. So, get that down. No, it is not vodka. It's a water. And I tried to prove that to you guys by showing you my water bottle, and it's like, yeah, it's clear. Jeff is asking, are there any comic book artists that you really liked when you got started and you still admire now? 100%. I absolutely adore J. Scott Campbell's artwork, and his art is what got me into comic art in general. I grew up overseas. I hadn't really seen a lot of comic books, especially ones in English. So I saw Gen 13 and was like, oh my God, that is the prettiest thing ever. I also very much admire the late Mike Turner, who's incredible, and Mark Silvestri, Eric Basaldua, Frank Cho. There's so many artists I really, really admire and, you know, consider them just light years ahead of me. But Todd McFarlane, that's right. And he's from Canada. Whoop, whoop. Okay, well, it looks like I drew that curl. Damn it. I'll have to erase that. Adam Hughes, oh my God. Yes, 100% Adam Hughes. And I love his Copic work too. Oh, Copic goals right there. Yeah, if I forgot anybody, you know, it was just by accident. There's so many amazing artists. Happy New Year to you too, Nick. All right, I don't want this curl here because I have a curl right there that I prefer. So this I need to change the direction and come up with a different idea. So when I have a spot that I've actually darkened the lines a bit, I use this, I've rubbed off by use all of the markings on it, but it's a Pentel Quick Erase. All right, so I need to rethink that. Hello, William. Wow, thank you, David. You found me something. I'm gonna look that up. I'm putting shadow on it. Okay. I may just make this go straight up. I'll have to see. So I'm shortening it, and I'm just going to make them like this. So they're still following the way that the wind is blowing, but they're not creating that curl because I feel it detracts from this bigger curl that I'm putting the bulk of her hair in. Keith, you have me on in the shop? What does that mean? Am I like on in the comic book store? And hi to Amy. All right, so here I erased what I was doing because I felt that the direction was too similar to the one on the left. And so I fixed that up. And now I just have to erase some of my messy sketch lines. Oh my God, that's so funny, Keith. Well, hello everyone in the comic book store, and hi, Amy. Thank you, Larry. All right, so I need to put a few more leaves around, so I'm going to add one in right here. And they're kind of sticking out from in her hair. So I'm just drawing them like partially disappearing into her hair, but I don't want it to look like she just has a bunch of weird green spikes, so I'm trying to show enough of the leaf that it implies that it's a leaf and not just that she has spikes coming out of her hair. Because that would look a little weird. Yes, I really do need to do a black cat. I haven't drawn one in a very long time. And they would be sticking in her hair in the direction I feel that her hair is going, and kind of, I wouldn't want them sticking into her head going in a way that like you couldn't naturally put that in your own hair. So I'm trying to think about that as well. So like the hair is going this way, so they would slot in like that. James, I can't think of any characters that I hate to draw at all. Oh, so many lines on Spider-Man. That is true. Okay, now this right here is Ivy's ear, and then her hair coming on the side of her temple. Oh, thank you, Robert. I'll definitely look that up and try to see with the adjustable drawing boards. I appreciate that. So she's got a couple curls here. I'm not putting any hair going down onto her chest because I would like to, for starters, it's getting blown by the wind, but then secondly, I have an idea for something I'd like to do on her neck and make like an off-center viney choker thing. So I still need to try and decide exactly how I'm going to draw it, but that's my basic plan for right there. Thanks for hanging out for a while, Jeff. Have a good time. So the direction line on that right there is incorrect. And what I try to do with hair is do a lot more thick to thin lines, like depth lines and stuff, than I will on some other parts of their bodies and stuff like that, because you know the hair is in so much motion that I want to show where it's like starting from, or where in this case right here, this is a deeper crease in the fold, so I'm making it a little thicker. Or in places down underneath here, for instance, which is the under part of a curl, it would be in a bit more shadow, so I make that line a little bit thicker as well. Daniel's saying that he would like to dive more into the world of comic book drawing. Is there any educational material I would suggest? Really, the best education, in my opinion, is just lots and lots and lots of drawing. Just get in as many hours as you possibly can. And when you lead a busy life, it's very difficult to get big long segments of time where it's like, oh my God, I have nothing to do today. Let's just draw. Life doesn't usually happen that way. You just have to grab little bits of time here and there. And just draw as much as you possibly can. And that's the best thing you can do, because really it's all about the amount of time you've put in to your craft, and even training your hand to go where you would like it to go, or that your hand to eye coordination is correct, and that you're learning to see mistakes in your own work that'll help you then progress. And books on perspective, for sure. I need a book on perspective. Oh, perspective. I know, it makes me so frustrated. But I really need to work on it. And I actually signed up to a couple YouTube video courses that I got for perspective. And I studied those, and I don't know, no matter how many books I read, I think I just need to like put pen to paper and get that real world experience, or all my paper knowledge just doesn't seem to help me. Oh, that's awesome, William. Sweet. Venom, Spider-Man, Darkhawk. Oh my God, you must be having to do so many buildings. Have fun. Yep, finding the time is the hardest part too. With this piece, I've gotten like 2 hours here, 1 hour there, and yeah, it's just hard to find the time. Trish, I can't see the rest of your comment here. I'm going to have to click see more. So I'll do it at the end of the video when I have some time. I'm going to go through and answer that question. I'm sorry I can't see the rest of it at the moment. If I have a second though, I will actually, let me see. Can I do see more? Oh, I can. All right. Sorry, I can check. No, I don't get like an info sheet. But if I'm working on, like, this isn't for DC. If I was working for an actual, like a paid job kind of thing, I would, sometimes you get given an info sheet, sometimes you get given some of the previous comic books to read to get caught up. Lady Death has a really great info sheet for Lady Death on what they want with her costume. So yes, for sure in that case. For a commission, no, you don't really get an info sheet. You just go look them up yourself if you don't know the character. If not, you, if you already know the character, then you just carry on. You'd like to produce soundtrack? That's awesome. For sure. All right, so this piece up here is going to be turning like so. All right, I think you guys have the basic idea as far as hair, and you've probably seen enough about it, enough of it. So let's move on to Ivy's face, and then Ivy's bathing suit, or her outfit. Yes, it's like a one-piece bathing suit, but her outfit. All right, so we're going to, or I'm going to work on getting her eyes done now, and her eyebrows. So with her eyebrows, I kind of try to keep my lines not like a perfect eyebrow shape. I break it up a little bit and I kind of scribble it, because I mean it's hair after all, and it's little short pieces of hair. So if I were to fill this entire thing in and make it solid black, I think it would look kind of odd and unrealistic. So I kind of try to go in the direction that eyebrow hair goes. And since Ivy's hair isn't flat black, she has reddish hair, her eyebrows aren't going to be completely black anyway. So like when I color this on the computer, I'm going to probably color it like a darker brown or something. So I just do that, and I'm not really filling them in completely anywhere. I'm leaving them somewhat open. For me, Ian, the male form is harder to draw. I have a little bit of an easier time with the female form, probably just I've had more practice with it. Women are what I get asked to draw the most. I do draw male characters in interiors, which I do work on as well. But yeah, I'd have to say that I have an easier time with the female form. I don't have to remember where all the muscles go and all of that stuff. Well, I mean, basically, yes, but not like the shape of every single ab muscle and where the hamstring meets this and where this muscle would be. And, you know, with dudes, it's a lot more, you got to remember all of that. And also, it's just making my lines more chiseled. And I tend to have a bit of a softer flow in the way that I draw. And so I have to kind of consciously make sure that I draw my lines a little faster, make it a little bit more of a harsh transition, stuff like that. But I do actually really enjoy drawing men. I don't get commissioned to draw them very often, but I did just a couple months ago get commissioned to draw an Aquaman, and that was really fun. All right, I have a question I need to look. I should teach people to draw their own eyebrows properly. Lol. Thank you so much, Trevor, for watching the live feeds. I'm glad you enjoy them. I'm having a lot of fun interacting with everybody and talking art. I can talk art forever. And art supplies and everything. I've even gotten a few people going out to buy art supplies. Corey, talking about you. Sorry, David. I really need to hit the gym. My God. All right, so with Ivy in this one, I really want to give her that siren-y look, like for real. I know that these are the Gotham City Sirens, but with Ivy, I want her to have that almost goddessy look. I want to give her some really fun makeup. I'm going to think about exactly how to do that. And I want her eyes to really sparkle. And so I'm giving her some pretty thick, glammed up makeup here, at least in the blacking. And then once I color it, I'm gonna really play around. It's gonna be fun. Oh, I'd love to draw the Joker. I am working on a piece. Well, I did a layout, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it the way that I laid it out, but I've been supposed to do this Joker for a friend of mine for forever. So yes, I will be working on the Joker soon, and that's going to be fun. Love the Joker. Yeah, of course, Nikki. Go ahead and message me. Sometimes I don't get to messages right away, but I will definitely try. Ooh, drawing Deadpool would be fun too. Oh my God, I love that movie. I think I've seen it maybe 7 or 8 times. Oh, I'm sure the sequel is going to be crazy good. Okay, now I just need to clean up some of the lines that I put down over here. Some of my my transfer lines were kind of smudged and I put too many in there. One last check. Yes. I drew Elvira one time. It was really fun. I got commissioned to draw her gosh, I can't remember which convention it was, but yeah, I got commissioned to draw her one time. It was really fun, and they wanted her in a like a skeleton suit thing, and that was really awesome. All right, so with lips, the main thing that I do is I don't fill in from corner to corner all the way around. I leave certain areas open and I pretty much just fill in where it's an important spot for direction and places that would be in shadow. So here, of course, you definitely want to see the clear part of her mouth, but then her lips on the outside, I don't fill them in completely with pencil. I know where I'd like the lips to be colored in, and since I'm coloring it, I don't really have to worry about it. So I'm keeping it pretty light. Can't forget about her nose. Also with the nose, I don't draw the entire thing. because I can do that in the color. Oh yes, Trish, definitely this brush makes all the difference. I do have the type of brush you can get in an art store, and I use it for cleaning my desk, but I don't generally use it for cleaning my artwork unless I've got tons and tons of eraser shavings. But for the most part, I actually try to avoid using these on my paper because say I have this little teeny weeny eraser shaving right here to move. If I use this, I'm doing like micro smudging all throughout my entire page when all I really need to do is just one tiny little bit like that. So these, in my opinion, they preserve your paper and preserve your line work better. And it's just an art brush that I had lying around, and I'd never used this one, so it doesn't have any paint residue or anything on it, which is why I use it. It just was what I had lying around in my art supplies. I used to have a little paintbrush that I kind of just stole from my kids' craft box, and it was probably cost less than a dime. And they had plenty of brushes, so it's not like I was leaving them without any. And I had that for 7 years. I was using it, but then the brush head fell off, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I needed to get a new one. Oh, whoops! I was working on the face. So I am going to leave her mouth like that. For now, at least, I'm not going to touch it anymore. That's enough for what I need as far as coloring, and you can still see her mouth on the original. All right, time to do this choker thing. I'm excited. So I want the leaves all the way up the side of her neck, going up into her jaw, and then turning down onto her chest. But I'm having it fold outward a little bit, almost like a collar, because I want everyone to still be able to see where her neck is. Because if I cover it completely, then it might just kind of look like her head is stuck oddly on the top of her body. Thanks, Nick. I'm glad you're liking it. And then I'll just have a couple little vine pieces coming off. I already had a basic one drawn right here. Maybe one more. I'll do a short one right there. Oh, I'm glad you're liking it, George. And Kyle, about getting you a drawing. At the moment, my commission list is closed, but I will be emailing my email list when the when my list is open again. This piece is for sale. I have had a couple people write me about it, but feel free to message me and I'll let you know if it's available. I use HB lead, and this is a 0.3 millimeter nick. Oh, thank you for being interested in it, Kyle. What do you mean, George, as far as freehand or stencil? Well, it's freehand in so much as that I drew it. Yes, I started out with a teeny weeny little layout right there, and then I've refined it in a bunch of different stages. I did a sketch where I took this and in Photoshop I enlarged it to 8.5 by 11 and I sketched it out, refining their bodies a little bit more. Then I realized that Ivy was the character right here that I wanted for Ivy. She was a little bit too short for what I felt she should be, and so I took this, I just cut it out and enlarged it in Photoshop, and then printed it out and finalized the sketch, and then took that and made it bigger, and now I'm drawing it at 11 by 17. So it's freehand with a bunch of stages. Think of it, I like to think of it as like sculpting, and you're working through the sculpture and chiseling out from the paper the characters that you're trying to show, if that makes sense. Thank you so much, George. I'm glad you like it. Turn this so it goes in the direction of my hand. So I think with this piece, I do want to show her collarbone a little bit right here. So I'm gonna maybe erase one of these leaves and move it down, or I'll have it connecting to the vine a little bit lower. But right here is the connection of her collarbone. Do I ink my interior work? No, I don't. Even for Divinica with the color, it is colored with Copic marker, but I just do that directly over pencil. And I have to keep my pencil lines really light to start with, then I color it, and then I go darker with my pencil lines on top of the Copic marker. Otherwise it really does ruin your Copic marker nibs. And for the Harley Quinn and her gang of Harleys interiors that I did, they were inked not by me. I penciled them and then I sent them off for inks. I do ink my own work, but for the DC pages, time was of the essence and I needed to pass them over to be inked. And they were kind of done as I drew them. It was a pedal to the metal job. How long do I think it will take me to be done with this? I probably need a good another 6 hours, I would say. Whether I'm going to get those 6 hours today is unlikely, but I would guess something like that. The important part and what is taking the most time and what I want to give the greatest focus to are the faces. The bodies themselves I've got pretty much worked out and I know what I'm doing. So, well, I know what I'm doing here. And so that won't take me very long at all. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, David. Here, this is one portion of the choker, and then this one is coming down like that. And so they're sort of off center, which is what I'm going for right here. But I have a leaf right in the middle, lightly drawn, well, 2 leaves actually, and I realized that was going to make it unclear. Here, I'll show you so you can see what I mean. It's probably too light for you to see on the screen. Something kind of like that. And probably what I did is I put too many leaves over there. So I may erase some of them later on, but for now let's just plow through and get this finished. Thanks so much, Estelle. I'm glad you're liking it. Just need to check the time. Okay, I'm gonna try to push through and finish this part right here, and then I need to run. See, that's the thing with me and art. Getting solid long blocks of time is harder to get, but I'm really gonna try to push forward later when I have a bit more time and get this piece finished, because next week I need to move on to other things. I really appreciate you all hanging out with me here. It's so much fun. Thank you, Tim. Ian, I'll take a look at the laptop stand you sent me, and I'll see if it works. I'll check out the link. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those of you who've sent me links for a stand. I really love it. You're saving my life. I use a Alvin Draft Tech pencil. It's 0.3 millimeter with HB lead. Ooh, I prefer that. See over here, I'm putting one leaf over as if it's kind of standing up off the vine. And that, I think, looks better than trying to make them all flat against her neck. So I will fix the other side and adjust that a little bit. Hi, Andrew. Yes, I'm here again. Not for much longer. I have an appointment and I need to go, but this has been really fun, and I love having you guys here with me while I work. It's really fun. Yes, Trish, I used to use the non-photo blue stuff and for drawing, but I found that I just prefer using the pencil. But that's just a personal preference thing. There's some people that swear by the blue lead. I tried it for a couple years and then was like, man, no, I'm happier with just normal lead. Amy, the party went great. We just finished like half an hour before I started this video, and I think Vienna, my daughter, is really happy and had a good time. Thank you. I think the swirl of the vine touching her top, I didn't care for that very much. I'll wish Vienna a happy birthday from you. Thanks, Amy. There, I just shortened it a little bit. I think it looks better like that. So I'm trying to show that it's off-centered, but I think I need to move that one a little bit. Thanks, Daniel. I'm so glad that you like the live feed. Hey, Yolanda. Oh, thanks, Nick. Okay. For the choker, I think we're good. Thanks, TJ. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off her shoulders right here, and then I've got to run. And thank you all so much for hanging out with me here. As you can see, welcome to my world of working on art in little teeny weeny bits and pieces. But I hope to finish this up this weekend, fingers crossed. Just here and there. If any of you are around, maybe I'll also do some more Facebook Lives for little bits of the process. And I hope you all have a fantastic remaining time on Saturday and then a great Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much for being on here with me for a little while. I had a ton of fun. It's great. You guys keep me at my desk for the times that I have, and have a good one. Love y'all. Bye.